Yeah.
But other
So
than
let's
that,
go through the slideshow and cover this thing real quick. So
yeah,
this is our regular review, and we review the same things, mostly each time with a little bit loose with it. But the subject of the podcast, the host or hosts, pros and cons, unfair advantage of the podcast itself, or the host of the show, the editing, the production, construction of the length of it, and if there's a compelling story, and then of course key takeaways at the end of it.
hmm yeah,
So the subject is clearly um, a slant on politics, but the slant is from a very liberal slash progressive view versus the whole conservative thing that has been taking over podcasting in the last few years.
yeah. I
That's what I
agree.
saw.
That essentially what it is liberal news. Essentially,
Yep. It is liberal news without the impact of lawsuits against the owners of the news.
now, funny fact, I did do it. Like I said, I did do a little bit of research. They've already been sued before by the president for 500, I believe, $500 million.
Okay.
But he backed out when it came time to, show up in court and all that. But
Provide evidence.
pretty much. And so I've they've been sued and they've had death threats. So I'm like, yeah, it's liberal news.
It is clearly liberal news. Now, I just heard that a third white shoe law firm has agreed to do pro bono work for for concepts that both they and the White House agree with. Now, do you think because they're losing some of these lawsuits and they're spending a lot of money losing these lawsuits, are they getting these big deal law firms to back them up so the next time they sue MeidasTouch, they have a better chance of winning?
I think they like doing whatever puts them in the best possible situation to win. So we know that money talks and has been talking ever since this country has been here. So
Yeah.
I think also not just winning against MeidasTouch, but of course to discourage more people from bringing this kind of content, because that's what you do when you're trying to control the narratives. You silence everyone who has an anti-view, which is what we've seen in real time.
And that's what we call an autocrat.
Essentially, yeah.
The dictatorship of Donald Trump. Ooh, are they going to sue us?
I mean, at this
That
point,
is my opinion, not the opinion of anybody else on this podcast, not the opinion of Prince George's Community College in beautiful downtown Largo, Maryland, or anybody but other than Dell, and Dell ain't got no money. So you ain't going to get nothing if you sue me.
yeah, I think the whole goal, I really don't even think, again, it's about the suing. It's about the silencing. It's
Yeah.
the tactics. Like, if we can remove the voices that speak against us, then what can we do? Anything we want with
Yeah.
no resistance. Media
Yeah.
is important.
Yeah. So what did you think of the host?
To be honest with you, I
Please.
wasn't impressed. Like, I was sitting there and I'm like, okay, again, it literally just seemed like a liberal news station to me. Like, it wasn't like he was so energetic or had this great amount of energy or charisma that I'm like, I would watch this just for him.
Right.
Like, okay, cool. I don't know. Not overly impressed. Like, he wasn't terrible or anything, but he didn't stand out to me.
Okay. So have you seen any clips or anything from Joe Rogan?
I've watched a few clips from him. Yes.
Okay. So if we were to do a comparison side by side, isn't Joe Rogan about the same? He's not like an outstanding host, not an outstanding interviewer. He doesn't have an attractive voice or anything. He's just the dude who just happens to have the show named after him. Like,
I mean, if you're really talking about characteristics wise, yes, there's nothing to me that's super exciting about Joe Rogan. But I think the advantage that he has is he's a well-known
right.
figure in a sense. So he brings with him, the people from UFC or, oh, I remember him from Fear Factor. Let's tune in. With this guy, it's like the subject is what draws you in. It's not
Right.
him.
Right.
And so, I mean, give or take, if they swap roles, would you really be able to tell the difference? Not really.
Probably not.
No.
Pros and cons of the show. And I actually had a link for the host.
Okay.
But I don't know if I can actually get the link in there, or how to display the link on here.
In fairness to the host, I did watch another clip of another show where he had a guest. I think it was maybe 2 guests on the show with him. So it was a little bit more back and forth. So it wasn't just him. And, it was better. But again, it's not, to me, it wasn't anything that was like, yeah, this explains why this is climbing up the charts. Like, I think, honestly, the pro about this is it has enough traction to where there's an opposing view, and it's being able to be raised a little bit higher. To me, that's the pro of this, where it's not just, oh, hey, we don't like this guy. This is why we don't like this guy. They're giving you evidence and facts, and it's not just talking out the side of your neck or a bunch of guys getting together. Hey, what don't you like about him this week?
Right.
So I think an opposing view is a pro to me. Is this the guy?
This is the guy, Fred Wellman.
Okay.
Well-known political commentator on Democracy with Fred Wellman, and currently on the MeidasTouch. Used to be really popular on Twitter, 314,000 followers.
I'm sure he's not popular now, since we know who owns that.
Since he owns that, we know he's not popular anymore.
Filter.
Pros and cons of the show? I'm sorry.
I think that one of the pros is that it's an opposing view, that at least they are presenting factual evidence and not just, hey, I don't like him because he only wears a red tie, or, I can't believe he said that. Yes, okay, but they put it in context and they give you what's current affairs, like a deeper look. So it's like, for even those who are not as well up on what's going on in the news, they pretty much show you, this is what we think, but this is why. So I like that.
And I like that they'll make this outlandish statement and then they'll back it up with evidence.
Yes.
So some Republican just said they're eating chicken heads in Missouri, and you're thinking, that don't make no sense. And then the Republican is his voice saying they're eating chicken heads in Missouri.
Yep. They're not just pulling out, far-fetched ideas, or just, oh, guess what I heard about such and such. No, this is the clip of them saying so-and-so yesterday.
And they're grabbing it from Fox News. They're grabbing it from CNN. I can't wait till they find out that AON has even more outlandish stuff, and Newsmax has the most outlandish stuff, and they start grabbing those clips.
Yeah. So I like that. There's factual evidence.
Yep.
What else? Unfair advantage. Well, clearly he's a political analyst or so. So even, I will give him that as well. You can tell that he's not just somebody who picked up an article and read it 5 minutes before he got on there, because he's tying things together. It's not just about the clip that he shows. It's like, no, and this is what happened the week before, and this is what, so he builds a story. So I think he is definitely, he knows what he's talking about. He is not a novice in the news arena.
I think another unfair advantage he has is that he is kind of dry. So it's not like he's trying to inflate the information or make it more exciting than it is. He's just saying, this is what they said, here's them saying it, and this is why it means something.
Almost reminds you of good old commentary and media work.
News, news, news.
Are you a journalist, sir? You're just talking about what happened and you have nothing to add to it.
It is shocking, but I think that's an unfair advantage because, especially, I mean, you and me, we have consumed news over the years, but Gen Z has not. Gen Alpha has not. So they're getting this information in a way that is unique to them. I mean, it's common to us, but unique to them, and they're finally beginning to appreciate it.
Yeah. Just when you thought media was dying, somebody is popping up, and it's really, they're breaking it down. Like, he's not making it so difficult that the average person won't understand. It's like, it's literally just laying out the facts. Like, here you go. This is what happened.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that.
This is what I want. I want for Don Lemon, who's got his own little thing he's doing now, and Joy Reid, who's got her own little thing she's doing now. Both of them have been banned from the airways. They don't need money. I want for them to do this show and then let loose and tell the whole story. Be real about it.
That would break the internet, I think, honestly, because they're generating interest, both of them. I've seen a few clips of Don Lemon. I'm like, Don Lemon Unchained, like,
right.
But it shows you again that once you're free from the apparatus, you can do, like, imagine the freedom that most people would have if they didn't have to worry about money or an overhead boss telling them, oh, you can't say this, or these are the only things you can talk about.
Yep.
Like, boy, land of the free.
Land of the free.
Different man. Like, that's why we have civil rights, because eventually people are like, you know what? Enough of this. Yep. Do what you will, but you're not going to silence me.
Right.
I like it. That's a great idea.
I can't say enough about the editing. I mean, when you watch a full episode, when you watch the clips, they're just on. And I love that they're using decent microphones. I say that knowing that we both sound like we're in a car in a can.
They're in their studio and they don't have the microphone
right
in their face, and you know, the real thick headphones and all the.
Yep.
They got a good team, good setup.
They got a good team, and I forget which microphone they have, but I mean it's not the standard Shure SM7, and it is off to the side, so you can see the label of the microphone, and you know it's picking up good because it sounds crystal clear.
Yeah, they got a good team.
They have a good team. They know they do the right research, and they present the right research in an effective way, and they give you no frills,
no gimmicks. Yep,
no gimmicks. I do like that they have good news researchers. It seems like everybody on the team is like an experienced journalist.
Yeah.
And they're not cutting their teeth in journalism. They're expressing their will in journalism and saying, here's what's really going on, and here's what it really means. Cut through all the BS. We're not going to talk about what Trump did today and what Trump did yesterday. Let's talk about this election in Wisconsin last night.
And what it means.
And what it means.
It, in a sense, honestly, it's almost like a class in journalism, where it's just like, it's about the facts, which at the end of the day, that's what the news was supposed to be. Now, personalities and things you add, that's all well and good. But at the end of the day, the meat and potatoes is the information. And they present it in such a way, like you said, even with the clip where he ended up going off because of issues, they kept going. So that means they're in sync and they know what they're talking about. It's not just the host who can carry on the conversation if things go awry. Like they're on it.
So I try to tell people all the time, if you're going to do it, have a plan. If you're going to have a plan, have a backup. So they got their plan, they got their backup, and they're executing on all levels.
Yeah.
And then getting out of the way of the story.
Not at all. Like they it's amazing to see that they're climbing so high, and all they're doing It's simple journalism.
Simple journalism.
It's impressive.
I guess we've already talked about the construction of the show.
Pretty much. I mean, for what it is, it works.
It works. I think it works very well. Now, of all the shows that we've evaluated, I'm not sure that I would put that show at the top of the list. But I am not the typical audience of that show.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it's a good show. I
Yeah,
can see why people like it, and I can see why people share it. So I'm probably going to send that show to my son.
if I'm ever talking to somebody and they're asking for, listen, where would you be able to find some news that is not Fox, that is not this, that, and the third? This would be where I send them, because I'm like, you're getting the news. You're not getting a bunch of opinion pieces and this, that, and the third. You're getting the news in a way that's not conflated, and it's not subtracted from in a way where they're not trying to minimize what's happening. They're telling you this happened. It is what it is.
Yeah.
So in that regard, I think if you're seeking facts and evidence, it is compelling.
Definitely compelling.
Yeah.
My big takeaway is this is a show that I need to share with other people. I want it to continue to beat Joe Rogan.
That I agree with. Like when you get down to the bare minimum, that they're really just expressing news. They're giving the news.
Yeah.
This is to me, it reminds me of, again, the responsibility of media, and the fact that if you do it right, it works.
Yeah.
You don't have to do all the extra stuff if you do it right. So,
yep.
And yes, keep beating Joe Rogan.
Keep beating Joe Rogan. Now, before you go, and how we gonna like put Heavenly in here to do the open and the close of this jump, or we just gonna let it flow the way it is?
It's straight facts, straight news.
Straight news, no frills. Catch us in a few days or weeks for the next episode.
Take care, y'all.
The Prince George's periodically.
Wheneverly.